Welcome, everybody. We're just going to give it a moment and then we will get started. And this webinar will be recorded. So if anybody from your team has missed it, we will have it available after this webinar is complete. So just give it another minute and then we will get rolling. Hi, everybody. My name is Nancy Mastriani, and I am part of the original health team and oversee the Market Connect program. We really appreciate everybody coming on. This is a new webinar that we've created to really try and facilitate everyone's experiences as far as what to expect on site and what some of the on-site activations are. And for those of you who have been previous sponsors with us, we're going to be showcasing some new technology. So we want to get everybody comfortable with that, and certainly welcome. You can ask any questions in the Q&A at the bottom. We have our team monitoring that. At this time, I want to introduce everybody. We have Matt and Yagoda and Kim, who work really closely with me on the Market Connect program. And those who are helping us execute this really well. So that is really well. Can anybody hear me? Okay, I don't know why I'm on an internet connection. If my sound drops off again, just please let me know. I am in a unique location. In any case, I just wanted to make sure everyone knew the team was. And what I wanted to do was remind some folks, we'll remind people that the matchmaking will open on the 20th. We want to make sure that oh, darn it. I'm going to try turning my video off, people. Is that any better? Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. We're just having some Wi-Fi issues. So I'm going to keep my camera off. To follow back up is one person from your company should be attending the meetings. It's not a group meeting. It's one-on-one. There is one chair per sponsor, one chair per buyer. So please make note of that. We'll send this some final schedules out a few days prior to health, and then you'll have assigned meeting tables and locations. And again, we're really good at monitoring who does what. At this particular point, I'd like to turn it over to Elise, who is really driving the technology here. And remember, you can ask your questions in the Q&A. Matt, Yagoda, and Kim will be monitoring, and we will try and get all your questions answered, and then we'll close out the webinar. So with that, Elise, I will turn it over to you.
Thanks so much, Nancy. So as Nancy mentioned, I'm Elise, and I'm on the product team here at Health. And so what I'm going to do is just take you through the steps it would take to pick out your meeting preferences on our matchmaking platform. So early next week, this opens on Monday of next week. And, excuse me, I think it opens next Wednesday, but someone's asked a question, so we'll go through that and make sure we're clear. But you'll get an email and inviting you to go through to this Health Hub. So our Health Hub is our custom built platform that will have all the things that you need to make matchmaking a success. So you'll click on the link in the email and it will bring you to this Health Hub. And I'm just going to walk you through. So on the top right, the first thing you'll need to do is click login. If you aren't logged into your Health ID, it'll prompt you to do that. Since I'm already logged in, it'll just refresh. And I'm an admin, so I'll see a lot of different things here, but what you'll just see is the Market Connect program. And so you'll navigate to this first. And the first page that you'll see is just some instructions on how to complete the whole program. So we're not going to go through this now because I'm going to walk you through this, but at any point you can navigate back to this point and look through any further instructions. And I'll also give you your attention to the support pages. You can click on this and see every step of the way, complete guides, pictures, etc. And so that's just how you go ahead and get started. Once you're happy and you know what to do next, you'll click the Get Started button in the top right. And this is basically going to start you on a workflow that's guided through. So the first page you'll see is your profile. And your profile is two things, a company profile and a user profile. I'll start by going through the company profile. The first thing you'll notice is that much of your details are already here through your onboarding information that you've already submitted. But it's a really good idea to make sure that you check through by clicking this edit button and make sure you're happy with all of your details. So for example, here, you might say, oh, we're not actually a state that's in Kansas, we're in Kentucky, and you can update that. You can also update your company name and any other information except for your organization name and your participant type. So everyone here will see solutions provider. And if you need to make changes to those, you can go ahead and reach out to the health team. Once you're happy with these details, you can click Update Organization, and that'll bring you back to the profile page. The other profile is the user profiles. And here you can see everyone in your company who has access to this matchmaking portal. You'll notice that only one of these can be edited. So say if I'm super sponsor, I'll be able to edit my information here. And again, you can see all of your information. Most of the stuff we'll already have, but just to make a note that this is hidden to other people until the meetings are matched. So you don't have to worry about your email going out to anyone that you aren't connected with and you don't have a match with. And in the same way, you can say, hey, I want to make a change. I've actually gotten a raise and now I'm a C-suite, and update those details. Once you're happy with both your company profile and your user profiles, you can click Save and Next in the top right corner. The next page is the availability and scheduling. So this is a list of all the time slots and potential times that you can meet with someone during health. You'll notice there's only the Market Connect program on Monday and Tuesday. And so there's only meeting slots for those days. As a default, you are marked as available for all times. So if you want to say, oh, actually on Monday, I'm traveling and I won't be there till 9, you would mark these times as not available. All times are in the events time zone, which is the Las Vegas time. And just as a note, you have to, like, the more availability that you leave, the more likely you are to meet with your top choices. So if you go through this and mark a lot unavailable, then it's going to be hard to match those meetings up with your top preferences. So just be mindful of that while you're going through it. It won't let you mark off every single one of them. It'll give you a warning if it feels like you're being too restrictive. So after you're happy with your availability, you'll click to Save and Next. The next page is the matchmaking page, which is where you'll spend your majority of the time. So here, if you see, there's a list of all the participating buyers' companies. You'll be able to see their logo and right here, their title. And you'll be prompted to match the number of picks and top picks. Top picks are based on the number of meetings you've purchased. So in this example, this sponsor has purchased 5 meetings, and that they are going to select the top people they want to meet with. So these are who you want to meet with the most. And then the picks is 3 times the number of meetings. And these are based on if the companies that you want to meet with, if they're not available to meet or you don't get a match, then you will pick your backup selections. So you would go through this list, and in this example, there's about 15 of them, but there'll be hundreds of companies that you can go through. To see more information about a company, you can click here, and it has all of their profile information, such as their location, job title, organization, all their interests and pitches. So this can really help you make a selection if they are a top pick or a pick. You'll move through this, and then there's also a button here for not interested. This doesn't affect anything as far as you don't have to reach a certain amount of not interested. People can't see that you've picked them as not interested. It just is to help keep you organized that you've already clicked, as an example, Johnson & Johnson. You don't want to meet with this job title, so you just say, I'm not interested. And that's just to help you keep organized. Before you're able to move to Save and Next, you'll have to meet the required picks and top picks. For this demo, I won't go through them all, but I will quickly click some. To give an example, Two other features to point out, because there will be so many participants in the program, there's also a filter button, and you can filter by some of the top level things that you're looking for. For example, if I wanted to filter by United States and only meet companies within the United States, I would do that, and then you can see only those companies will appear. And you can use multiple field filters and easily clear out those filters. We have a feature called AI matchmaking. When this is enabled, you'll toggle it on, and it means that you will not need to go through the process of selecting companies. We will choose those for you. So if you're happy for AI select, you can toggle it on, and you'll notice you won't be able to pick companies anymore, X them out, but the companies you've previously picked will remain selected. So if you don't want to complete all of your picks, or if you're happy for us to pick those completely for you, then you can toggle this on. It can be toggled off at any time. Just turn it off and click select manually. Once you're happy with your picks and top picks and you've reached the minimum number, you can go to save and next. This is the last page where you get the opportunity to review your selections. Here you'll see these are the companies that you've picked, either as a top pick or pick. You're able to see these in one go and decide, oh, I've changed my mind, I actually do want to meet with them. You can also change your mind at any time and remove them from the list, and they will disappear. Once the matchmaking has started and participants are also doing the matches, you'll be able to see right away who your mutual meetings are. So if you've picked, this is test company C, and they've also picked you, you'll be able to see those mutual meeting interests. Lastly, you can see here at the bottom, anyone who you've marked as not interested. Again, the companies will not see that you've marked them as not interested. It's just for us to know you don't want to meet with them. But you won't be matched with any buyer that you haven't selected as an interest anyway. So another thing that you can do right before you're finished is click this download button, and then you have the options to download it as a PDF and CSV, so you can save your selections after matchmaking closes. Once you're happy with your selections and you've reviewed, you can click complete matchmaking. A modal will pop up with more instructions and what happens next, and review it. Press got it, and it will bring you back to the company profile page. So that's the whole matchmaking process. And once you hit complete, the process will be done for now. And that's all you'll need to complete for now. Right before the event, once the event app goes open, you will see your meetings in the event app. I'm going to shift you to the meetings in the event app so you can see an idea of what it would look like. So this is a desktop version of the app. So it's a little different, but if you've used our app before, it's the center part that you'll see. And to view your meetings, you'll have two ways to do it. You can go to My Schedule and Meetings, and then My Meetings, and then see your team's meetings. We will email you these steps so you don't have to try and remember it all. And there's also an exhibitor booth training. But once you go into your, this is your company's profile, you'll see that we have, once the meetings are scheduled, it'll have a list of your meetings. This example just shows the Meetup Lounge, but it'll say location Market Connect Lounge. And you'll see click on it, and you'll see that this meeting is scheduled with this person, and this is your company, and you can click assign a member, and then you can assign any member of your company to take a meeting with when the meetings have been scheduled. So imagine this would be the participant, the hosted buyer, and then this would be someone from your company. At any time, you could switch it to a different person in your company and change those meetings as much as you need to. And that's what it'll look like in the health app. Once those meetings are live, again, we'll send you an email to make sure that you're aware whenever your meetings are confirmed and available in the app. All right, that's it from me. We can take it to questions now.
Hi, everybody. It's Kim. I just want to reiterate, we're going to go through all the questions that have come through shortly. So just stay tuned. We're about to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Matt, would you mind recapping the dates again? Because my Wi-Fi, I believe, cut out right at the critical time where I was mentioning deadlines.
Yep. Hi, everyone. So The hub will go live on Wednesday, the 25th of September. You will all receive an email for this that will be in your inbox in the morning. You will also get a countdown reminder on Monday, the 23rd as well. So just to give you kind of 40 hours notice that it is opening as well. And then after that, you will receive various communications from us over the next 2 to 3 week period. From the sponsor side of things, we request you to assign your program reps by the end of this week. So that's the 20th. The hub will close on the 11th of October, but you can purchase additional meetings at any point throughout the course of the matchmaking. If you like the look of the buyers in there and you want to get more meetings, then by all means you can do that. And the way you do that is simply contacting us at the Market Connect team, which will give you the email to that at the end of this webinar as well.
Thank you, Matt. I just wanted to also remind everybody the meetings do take place in the Market Connect Lounge. The reason for that is we want to make sure that people are showing up where they need to be and that the meetings are happening. Remember, we track if anything goes wrong, you would get a credit back for any unused meetings so that we have clocks on the wall. We have staff checking people in. If somebody's missing, we want to make sure that that's taken care of. So we monitor that. So everything happens in the Market Connect Lounge at all times. So I just want to point that out to everybody. Matt, I see lots of questions in here. Do you guys want to field some of these questions to the larger group?
Yeah, sure. So let's start with this one here. So does a sponsor rep have access to this platform, the Health Hub, even if they are not attending? And so sponsors will have received some communications from Yagoda in the last few days or weeks to assign a program rep. That program rep will be handling the communications from the hub. They will be the individual that will have login details for the hub. So in order to access the hub, you need to be assigned as the program rep. And the deadline to be assigned a program rep is September the 20th. That is this Friday.
And again, if you have any questions on any of these things post-webinar, we're going to go through all the questions. You can email marketconnect@hlth.com. That is the mailbox where we will be fielding all questions. So I just wanted to make sure that that everybody's aware that you can reach us at that mailbox. But it's all about, like what Matt said, designating your reps to assign from a given mailbox, from a given role, and that individual is going to get access. Okay, Elise, I see, and Maddie, I'm going to defer to you guys. I see some questions about sort of how many reps, how many people. I just wondered if you guys would like to field that one, because I know there are some questions about that, if you guys can see in the chat, as far as like, if I have X number of meetings, X number of people, those sort of scenarios.
I just want to make sure I understand the question, so stop me if I'm not saying it correctly. So as Matt said, you'll have assigned a rep who will have access to the hub matchmaking, and that will be the person or multiple people who will be able to do the matching. But on site, you can assign as many different people. Anyone who's associated with your company can be assigned to take those meetings. So there's two parts here, is having access to complete the matchmaking and having the ability to take the meeting. And you can have as many people and change as many times on who's taking the meeting. But the access to the hub and completing the matchmaking should have been filled out on that form to assign a sponsor rep.
Exactly. And remember, everybody, one of the key things that for those of you who've done it with us in the past, these meetings used to sit outside the event app. And if you remember what Elise just showed you, that you can go in and not only see everything in one location in your event app schedule, you can actually say like, hey, I have a meeting. I'm going to assign my meeting to Maddie, and I'm going to make that Maddie's meeting. So you have the ability to sort of move meetings from person A to person B, which is not something we could have done in the past. Now, if you have 40 meetings, meetings and you have 4 people, like, you know, definitely that's another scenario. But sometimes we have scenarios with clients who are, I'm like, I'm gonna run as the main point person for the meetings, but the actual people I have taking the meetings are person A, B, and C, and they sort of assign them out to those individuals. So you have the ability to do that. Guys, anything else in the chat we want to address?
Yeah, so
question
at least
and
I'm going to ask you a question that Shannon and Kelly have beautifully put in, and it is about, can they export the list of participants from the matchmaking hub?
There isn't built-in functionality to export the full list of participants. You'll be able to export the people that you selected. As I showed you at the end, you'll be able to export any of your picks or top picks, but there's not a button, I guess, to see all the participants. If that's something you need, you can contact health and we can discuss those needs further, but it's not a part of the platform as is now.
correct. We want the
Lovely.
AI to do some of the work for you on the matchmaking, but at the same time, we want you to feel like you have some control over like who your top picks are and who your second picks are, for lack of a better word. So we're trying to make it a lot less tedious for you than some of the prior years where it was like there was a lot more pending and waiting sort of scenarios. So we've tried to eliminate that bottleneck for you. Matt, what about other questions in there?
So Rachel has asked a lovely question. Are we able to send messages to the person we request a meeting like they were in previous years? The answer to that, Rachel, at the moment is no. We don't have a chat function. You simply select your buyer as a top pick or a pick. And
Just to clarify a tiny bit further, once you're matched with that person on the app, you will be able to message them. So once you're matched and you have a meeting scheduled, you'll be able to message.
I always like to tell people, think of it as LinkedIn and you've made the connection so that you can chat with the individuals at that particular point. So I hope that helps. Matt, what else you got?
There we go. So Scott has asked here, how many attendees from our company can get into schedule meetings? There are 4 of us and we will be schedule, and will the schedule be visible for all?
So
So
I'm going to
Lisa,
take,
do you want to?
I'm going to take part of this because I just want to make sure, Scott, it really has to do with how many meetings you purchase. Sort of scenario 1, if you've only purchased a handful of meetings, I strongly advise against having lots of people in the platform. Maybe you act as the administrator, because remember, you can assign a meeting to an individual. You know, we do have some companies that have like 6 divisions and they have 6 blocks of meetings. So it's sort of, it depends on sort of what you're doing and what your team's looking at and the number of meetings you're purchased. And then Elise, feel free to add to that.
Yes, exactly. That's right. So in the profile, as Nancy said, that's correct. On the actual event app during the meetings, you can have as many people as you want, being able to view your schedule in the meetings. It's just about making sure those people are associated to your organization. So if you have 40 people going, you just need to make sure that they're associated to your booth, your digital booth, and then those people can be assigned to those meetings.
Perfect.
And then just to clarify another process here. So at the top of the call, it was said only 1 representative could take these meetings. But then we just heard that you can assign anyone in the organization to take these meetings. Can you confirm / elaborate on this?
Yep, I think the initial is that when Nancy was explaining it, she means only 1 person can go to the meeting. So you can't have 2 people from your company meeting with 1 buyer. They're connected, you know, it's just one-on-one. But you can switch, so to clarify, you can switch who that 1 person is as often as you'd like. In the event app, you can assign specific people to that.
And then I can take this question. So does the platform know how many meetings each organization can make? Yes, we do. And if in the kind of the next few weeks, if you purchase any additional meetings, we can add those as well in. So we're always up to date with how many meetings you have.
A couple of people are asking, I see the question, just when is the event app open? I want to say, but Maddie and Elise, I feel like it's October 2nd, but can you confirm or tell me a date? And if not, we can share that via post webinar.
Yep, the approximate date for the event app launching is 2 weeks before the event. Sponsors will have it a week early at 3 weeks before the event. However, these Connect meetings, as you might be able to guess, is that the matchmaking will still be open when the app goes live. So the meetings will become available the week before health. So 3 weeks for sponsors, 2 weeks for attendees, and the week before for your meetings. And we will, as I said before, send you an email when your meetings are ready.
And one thing to elaborate on what Elise just said, when we say a week before for sponsors, you get a sponsor profile as part of your sponsorships, completely nothing to do with Market Connect, where you can upload PDFs, videos, connect your people. And there's a separate webinar to show you how to do that. But the idea is that you have a full profile in addition to all the other engagement that you have. So that week is for you to set that part up so that when the attendee community comes in, they see your fully robust profile. Matt, are you seeing any other questions we should be addressing for the group?
I have some lovely questions that we can address. Is there a maximum number of meetings allowed to be purchased? Nancy, do you want to take this?
Yes. Yes, we don't let a company purchase more than 40 meetings, except in the case where, like we have a very large global client where you might have 6 divisions and each division buys 10 meetings. So it's like 6 different company profiles with 6 different solutions. For the larger scale clients, that absolutely works. For, a medium-sized, smaller company, we just want to make sure that you get your number of meetings. So we don't want you to overbuy. But if you have any questions, just email marketconnect@hlth.com and we can look at the situation if you feel like you may or may not have enough.
Wonderful. And this one will be for you, Elise. So it sounds like we have to select our max meetings before moving on to the next step. So that will be from moving from the matchmaking to the review section of the Health Hub. So this is requiring all of our reps to select together. They can't do this separately.
That's right. It does depend on if you've separated your companies by region. So some companies will just say, I am Google Health, and that's just their own company. And then some companies will have it separated by region or division. So it might say Google Health Texas division, Google Health Northeast division. If you have separate companies, then you'll have separate reps for those companies, and you'll be making those decisions separately. But if you have one company and say 4 reps for that, you'll make that decision together as a team who you'd like to select for your matchmaking preferences.
Perfect. Thank you, Elise. And another one here for you. So will all team members who are assigned as a program rep see the same platform you've just shown for the same matchmaking page?
Yep, that goes on my last question. Exactly. You will see of it as the reps are viewing a company profile, and think of it as how your company is making decisions together to who you'd like to meet with the most.
Lovely.
There's a question here I'll just answer from Amanda that says, what happens if a company meets with us, but they aren't on our top picks or picks? Well, we have the opportunity to review and decide. So actually, in the matchmaking, when I showed you, I'm just going to share my screen one more time. It's just a little easier to explain on the visual. So if we're going onto the review picks page, which even when you've completed the matchmaking, as long as the platform is open, you'll still have access to go. And so you see how you have here your meeting interest, who you've selected, mutual interest, people who have selected you. There also, if someone else has selected you and you haven't chose them, there'll actually be another column here that says companies interested in meeting with you. And so we don't have any because this specific demo example doesn't have any mutual companies, but there will be an opportunity for you to review who's picked you that you haven't picked, right? If they've picked you and you've picked them, it would be a mutual meeting, but there'll be another column for people who are interested in you. So if you say, oh, I've actually changed my mind now that I see people who want to meet with me, you can change your selections at any time.
And this is a big change for those who've done the program in the past. In the past, it was like, I would request to meet with Elise, and I would wait for Elise to say yes or no. Elise would request to meet with me, same thing. So you had sort of this pending meeting problem sometimes. So this kind of gets you out of that choke point so that it's like, hey, here's my top picks, my second picks. We're going to let the system do the work. You have a chance to review your schedule, and it's not sort of a point of frustration, which is why we felt we kind of needed a next generation technology in order to continue to enhance this program. Matt, how are we doing on the Q&A?
So we have a lovely question from Colleen. So if we have a program rep that is in the app managing the meetings, how do we showcase the other members that are attending that meeting, that the meetings that would be different thought leaders?
Say that one more time, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. If we have a program rep that is in the app managing the meetings, how do
Yep.
we showcase the other members that are attending the meetings who would be different thought leaders? So I suppose this is a question, and Colleen, correct me if I'm wrong here, a question about, you've got one program rep who is selecting his meeting. How do you then transfer those to other members of your team?
Right.
If the question's about visibility, so showing people who you've picked, that's why that download button exists. And then the download PDF is literally like a big screenshot of the people you've picked, or the download CSV is just a list of the people. So that's how you could share who the selections are.
Excellent. And then we have another question that kind of comes off the back of that. If I am scheduling a meeting for another person on my team, will they get an email and or will the meetings show in their health app schedule?
Yes and yes. So if the person is assigned, as I walk through in the demo, if you've assigned a specific person, so if I assigned Matt to a meeting, it would show up in their My Schedule, and it will also get an email that a meeting has been confirmed for them.
Wonderful. And then another question from Colleen here. Do the buyers see profiles of people or just the company and decide if they want to meet based on the company profile, not the actual person in the meeting?
The buyers see a similar view, so they will see the name of the company and then the job titles of people. So if you have multiple users, you'll see multiple job titles. So if there's 3 reps assigned to it, that's who you'll see. Yeah, they're picking by company.
Wonderful. And then Caroline has asked here, is there a benefit to making selections as soon as possible, or does timing not impact meeting confirmations?
So the answer is yes and no to this. So no, as in you can pick your top picks and picks at any time, and then complete matchmaking and just be done. And that won't affect like who you've chosen, as in like, it's not like you chose the first, but one of the benefits is as soon as you make your selections, then as we discussed, those participants will be able to see that someone has chosen them when they're making their selections. And that's a benefit, right? You want to have those mutual interests. And so in that way, it is a benefit, but it won't affect like who you've picked, if that makes sense.
And Melissa has asked, can we change our selections in the form after we submit?
Yes, you can change it anytime as long as the matchmaking is still open. So there'll be a time when it's closed off when we'll make those meetings and we'll generate it. And from there, those meetings and selections are set. But you can complete matchmaking and then decide the next day that you want to go and change whoever based on any sales pitch or conversation or for whatever reason.
Wonderful. And Amanda has asked here, I haven't seen information about building out our online profile. Is that info in the sponsor portal?
Yep, that's right. It's in the sponsor portal. If you haven't gotten it specifically, you haven't filled out any company profile, you're more than welcome to message us just to make sure everything's okay. But just so you know, if some of that information is missing or hasn't been submitted or is updated, you can easily update it in the hub when you log in. So there's no need to worry if maybe specific information hasn't been filled out, because you'll have the opportunity to do that. But if you haven't given us any information, you can reach out.
Hey, Lisa, I'm wondering if you should pop open the screen for a minute, because again, I just want to make sure people are clear. Like when you upload information to your sponsor portal, just showing that profile page that you had open before, Elise, whether you can just, the cool thing now is you can easily edit it, where we did have an issue in the past where it was like the information was the information. So we're pulling data over, but you can enhance it. So you have a lot more control over what the individuals are seeing about your given company.
Right. So in here you can see, so when you log in, it'll look something like this,
You're
where
not
there's,
screen share.
oh, sorry.
Yeah, hold on. That's okay. There you go.
Yeah, and thanks, Nancy. So yeah, on this profile page, when you log in, it'll look something like this with this information pretty filled out. And that's the information that we got from the sponsor portal. So, and so this is like the opportunity for you to review it. And as Nancy said, it's very, very flexible. You can change it at any time, regardless of if or when you've put it into the sponsor portal. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about not having all the details perfectly, because you'll just have, like Nancy said, the opportunity to edit it as soon as you log in. Another reason to log in kind of right away, so that you can make sure that these are really good, because that's what the buyers, participants are looking at. Of
Thank you, Elise.
course.
Matt, how are we doing on the Q&A?
Okay, so we still have a few questions coming through. So we've got one here from Rhea. Can we upload documents to our profiles like last year? You can't, Rhea. That's a simple one. And
But Matt, I do want to add one thing. Remember, now your meetings are going to go back into the event app. It's not sitting outside, where in the past it was like you had your event app calendar and your matchmaking calendar, for lack of a better word. So it's going to drive people back. So at least it's kind of a cohesive experience from a meeting perspective, where in the past we were never able to get everybody into one place.
wonderful, excellent. So there are still a few questions coming through. What we can do is we can answer all these questions and more, if you've got any more coming through to us, in an email summary, which we'll release in the next day or so. This webinar has also been recorded, so we will send that out to everyone as well. If you do have any questions and we haven't answered them, or we haven't answered your question the way that you would like, or whatever, feel free to contact us at marketconnect@health.com, and then we will get back to you as soon as we can.
Really appreciate everybody coming on. If there's any way, any questions, listen, we do understand that, like, for those of you been with us in the past, this is an improved technology. One other really nice feature about this is your ability to filter by company type and look at some of those things. So I think you're going to feel like you have a lot more control. For customers who are new to the program, I think this is going to feel like a fairly, cohesive experience. So we really look forward to working with you. We're actively monitoring all of the topics and questions coming in, and we want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable before everything launches. Any last minute, did I miss anything from anybody? If anybody from our team wants to chime in, anything else we want to add for the community?
I would just kind of reiterate those dates again. So Wednesday, the 20th of September, is when the hub will go live. You will get an email invitation for that, and then subsequent correspondence from us over the next 2 weeks. There will be potentially new buyers entering the program up until October the 4th. I can't remember if we mentioned that before. So do check back regularly. Don't go in on the 25th, do your matches and then put your feet up and relax. Please do go back in and check the buyer selection regularly to see if there's anyone that you've missed. Also, a nice tip from Elise is to have a look at that review section as well, to see who has selected you as a like or a pick, a top pick or a pick, sorry, because they might be someone that you've missed. So it might be worthwhile just taking a bit of time to look at these individuals as well. And then if you haven't already, program reps need to be assigned by the end of this week. That is September the 20th. That is this Friday. If you don't think you have, contact us at marketconnect@health.com with any questions, queries at all. But I think that is everything. I'm going to say we will get all these unanswered questions answered and distributed out over email in the next day or so, along with a recording of this webinar.
And one other thing I wanted to mention, everybody, remember your profile in the event app. I am a sponsor. I'm company X. I have a company profile where I can create my profile. Every sponsor at Health gets it. There is no additional cost. You still have the ability to, create video, PDFs, assign your people. That is a profile for your company in the event app, slightly different than obviously those individuals taking your meetings in Market Connect. So the idea is you will still have that same experience with the event app, where your company profile, where Elise was mentioning that 3 weeks out, sponsors will have the opportunity to go and create a profile. So that is your company profile that anybody coming to Health will see, nothing to do with Market Connect. That process is still the same. We thank everybody for coming in, and we will also put together a quick FAQ on all of this based on some of the common questions. Again, this was recorded. Feel free to ping us at marketconnect@HLTH.com if you need us. And we thank you guys so much. This is the first time we're doing the webinar. Apologies for the flaky Wi-Fi issues, but ultimately want to make sure people have access to the information. And we look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas. Take care, everybody.